Alright, hello everyone. My name is Tyler Manier and this is Cassidy and Miranda. And we chose to do our project on college tuition in Ohio and how it affects us, why it's constantly on the rise, and stuff like that. So the reasoning behind it, obviously it affects us a lot. We're all college students and a lot of us are freshmen or sophomores, so we're going to be seeing this around for the next few years. We wanted more information on it. We wanted to see why it was rising so quickly, what was the cause of it, how we could cope with it, stuff like that, like solutions to being able to afford it since it's constantly going up. For a little bit of background information, obviously tuition is a huge expense for anything. I mean, when we looked at the government budgeting and everything, education was always like the top expense that was like the biggest impact on the budget. Base tuition in Mount Union is like around $36,000 a year, I think. So it's very high, and granted that is before like loans and scholarships and stuff like that, but still, even then, it's still really high. Sadly, it is on the rise, 3.8% in 1 year. That was 2013 to 2014, so just this past year. While Ohio is kind of on, like, they're a little bit behind, some other states like Oregon and Maine have already started making steps to prevent this constant rise. In Oregon, for example, you can go to college for free, and then for the next few decades, you basically give back, you make payments to the state from the career that you get, ideally in whatever it is you studied in college. Ohio, however, is still a little bit behind, and they haven't really got anything so far.
So we essentially created a website dedicated to this project. This is a screenshot of our blog and some of the facts that we posted. At the bottom, we posted about the interview that we had, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we wanted to create this blog to help inform people about the rising cost of tuition. The idea behind the whole blog was to have people interact and leave comments with their thoughts about the rising tuition. The problem was that no one left any comments. We told our families and friends about it, and we even put a link to it on Facebook. There were a couple of views, but we were really hoping for comments just to go off of something. When we were able to secure an interview, which I'll talk about that in a little bit, we put another post up asking people to leave comment with questions that they wanted us to ask or anything like that. And you could see the tab at the top. Unfortunately, no one left any comments. So here's another screenshot of our home page and the different tabs. There's a home button, the blog, about us, the tab where you can ask Representative Hagan a question, and our contact information if someone wanted to contact us with any questions they were to have. However, even though we posted this and put it at the top of our homepage, no one left any comments, and we really wanted to know what other people thought about college tuition, and we thought the blog was the best way to go about that, but it just didn't work out like we wanted it to. So for the action part of the project, we wanted to hold an interview with someone who actually worked in the education department of the government. And after a bit of research, we decided that we wanted to interview Representative Christina Hagan. She's pictured there. She's on the Higher Education Committee in Ohio's House of Representatives. And we talked about this in class, but people belonging to a committee or in the House or the Senate generally know a lot more information about a certain topic. So they're specialists, so to speak. We wanted to interview her rather than any other representative because she's young, she's only 25, and she recently graduated from Malone University, not far from here. And she knows what a huge detriment college tuition can be. She even witnesses on the weekends to try to pay for that extra debt. We obtained her information through off of Ohio's House of Representatives website and emailed her secretary. And since representatives are so busy, we ended up having to reschedule the interview 3 times. After finally getting to sit down with her and talk, we found that it was well worth our time. She gave us information about the state trying to amend Ohio's 529 plan, which is essentially a savings fund that parents can put money into for their children through the years, and it accumulates. and it helps relieve the cost of tuition whenever they do get into college. She also explained that she wanted to make more information available about to students about the financial aid process and how it really works, because I don't know about you guys, but whenever I applied, I was so confused about how it all worked and where all that money came from. And she wanted that information to get to be out there and be available to students. She also explained that a lot of people are going to college for jobs that they could have easily gone to a technical school for and saved thousands and thousands of dollars. And in the future, she said that everyone's going to have some type of college degree, and it's going to be really hard to figure out how to make students appealing to the workforce, because everyone's going to have a college degree and everyone's going to look the same essentially. And overall, the interview went really well. It was worth our time, and we were able to learn a lot more about what Ohio was planning on doing. And we even gave her an idea to get more information to students who are thinking about applying to college, and saying that if they apply to a college, or even before they apply, that college should make all of their financial information available, because some colleges don't do that.
Alright, now with every project there is a good and a bad side. Although this project did have a lot of good parts of it, there were some iffy parts that we didn't really enjoy as much as others. We'll start with the interview. Some of the good parts about the interview was actually getting to talk and voice our opinions with a actual representative. I know a lot of times people really don't have this opportunity, so through this project it really gave us an incentive to actually go and talk with an actual representative. We actually got on a more personal level with the representative. During the interview, it didn't really feel like an official interview. It was more of like a conversation. It felt really natural, and it was a lot of fun. We got free dessert out of it, so that was a plus. We actually got to voice our opinions, which a lot of times whenever you just vote, yeah, you're voicing your opinion in the government, but it's not as prominent, so actually talking with a representative was a really great way to put ourselves out there and actually voice our opinions and represent our the college age level of our population. So some more bad part of this interview was actually trying to get it scheduled. It was a little bit difficult just because I was in contact with her secretary, and it seemed like sometimes her secretary and the actual representative weren't on the same terms. Whenever we had our original interview, it was over spring break, and I actually lived 2 hours away, so I was on my way. I was about an hour and a half away from home, almost here, and I get a call from her secretary saying that Representative Higgin couldn't make it that day. So I came back from spring break like a weekend early just to do this, but it was for nothing. So that was a little bit of a rough part, but we got through it. We rescheduled, and whenever we actually rescheduled that one, we had it set for 1:30, but her secretary called us like earlier that day even and said, can we reschedule this for 2:30? Or no, it was originally at 2:30, and she asked if we could reschedule at 1:30. So we did, and we showed up at 1:30, and she wasn't there. She ended up not talking to her secretary and showed up at 2:30 still. So it was a little bit shaky trying to get on the same contact level with her, but it worked out in the end. We actually really did enjoy doing the interview. Another part of our project was the blog. Although the intentions behind the blog were really good, implementing it was a little bit more difficult, just because, like Miranda touched base on, we didn't get a lot of views or comments on it, and even though the information was detailed and it really pulled together our whole project, it really didn't get a lot of views or anything, even though we did share it on our Facebook page. But another good part about the blog was that it gave us a chance to organize our thoughts. I'm sure my group members can attest to this, but while we were doing it, our thoughts got a little scattered and it was a little bit crazy. So really organizing it through the blog helped us get through it a little bit easier. Yeah, another rough part about the project was finding more information about Ohio's tuition and everything. Although it was really easy to find what the problem was with the tuition and the fact that it was rising a lot, we couldn't really find a lot on what our government was actually doing. to fix this problem, but through our interview again, we did learn a lot more, so that kind of solved that issue. Obviously this project was very important, even or else we wouldn't have bothered doing it in this class. It gave us a chance to, again, get involved with our government, learn more about what our state government actually does, since our national government is more the one that's like in the headlines a lot, we know a lot about it. We really don't learn a lot about our state government in everyday news. So this project really gave us a chance to learn more about it. We also got to voice our opinions in a more in a different way than we might have. So it just gave us a lot of opportunities. We actually were invited to go to the state capitol to get a personal tour from the representatives, so it gave us a lot of opportunities that way. And like I said, we got to voice our opinions more. We might have bettered the state just because you never know. Whenever you actually voice your opinion with a certain person, like the representative, she might have gone back to the House and said, listen, I have this group of kids who's really concerned, and they might have taken this information into more thought and more consideration. So you never know. One opinion might change. At least it'll make a little bit of a difference in the government. So that really helped us. And now that we've actually been a part of the government, or not a part of the government, but taken a role in the government, we might take more action in the future to actually voice our opinions and get more involved. Does anyone have any questions about anything?